Sometimes the most controlling person in your relationship isn't your partner, it's his mother. And the control doesn't sound loud, y'all. We have to understand that vulnerable narcissism is not about being loud or being arrogant. It's about using emotional fragility and turning it into subtle forms of manipulation. It shows up as, I'm just trying to help. You've replaced me. You've changed since she came around. If you really think about it, this subtle form of manipulation usually stems from the fact that mom was probably enmeshed with son, and then when another woman came along, that enmeshment had to split. What am I supposed to do now with all this extra void? These aren't just subtle emotional comments. They're control tactics designed not to have a conversation, but to see if they can get you to comply with what they want. When I say you, I mean the son. Sorry, that was aggressive. In mother-in-law dynamics, typically what this will look like is she will insert herself into your parenting dynamics and then cry in victim when you set boundaries for her. She'll also make herself the victim anytime your partner tries to make the household the priority. She'll triangulate to your partner with things such as, I feel left out or disrespected. Now what ends up happening is four guys in the middle, mom, partner, and then you, daughter-in-law, are passed off as the problem just for simply having a boundary. This isn't just difficult behavior. It's unprocessed trauma, enmeshment, and identity confusion. And we have to understand that some mother-in-laws never actually separate from their son. And now your presence feels like rejection, so she clings harder. Not through force though, through guilt, through shame, and through emotional collapse. Vulnerable narcissism is not talked about in families enough. Because when women weaponize guilt, we call it pain, not power. But covert control is still a form of control. You're not wrong for wanting boundaries, and you're not the problem for wanting peace. You're also allowed to say no, even if somebody cries about it. That's when you let them. Have to let her sit in it. I call it shit-sitting reflection time. Which is the lesson, and you have to consistently put her in that. Not remedy it for her, not self-soothe it for her. Some of the times when I've worked with mothers that are like this, they've never learned the skills of self-regulation, which is why they're projecting it onto the marriage of her son or the relationship of her son to try to get control. And it's not about blame, it's understanding that this is generational. She probably learned this from her family dynamics when she was a child. And some of us are living in family systems where we don't communicate to each other directly, and we use subtle forms of manipulation and control through what I like to call undercurrents of energy.